Once again, we find ourselves living in turbulent and volatile times. The West has sanctioned Putin, and Putin has put his military on high nuclear alert. This is not the stuff that makes for the kind of geopolitical stability that global financial markets thrive on. Cardano and all of crypto will be swimming against strong currents. Luckily for Cardano, we seem to specialize in swimming against strong currents.
Ready? Let's go.
Thank you to Ada Guy for that intro. Today, we're going to discuss SundaeSwap moving toward DAO governance, a new dashboard to show you just how green Cardano is. Turns out it's dark, dark green, but I think you already knew that. And we'll also talk about how you can get your SundaeSwap ISO tokens via DripDropz on Wednesday. If you've been following the Army of Spies Twitter account over the last several days, you already know I'm 1,000,000% in favor of the harshest possible sanctions on Putin. However, you should also be aware that the economies of some large European nation states are deeply intertwined with the economy of Russia as a provider of energy. And these sanctions could have very significant boomerang effects on those economies. And it's unlikely that crypto will be somehow insulated from this effect on all asset classes. We're probably going to be in for a very bumpy ride. We'll probably be swimming against the current. But Cardano has never had a smooth ride. We don't even know what it's like to swim with the current. So if any crypto ecosystem is equipped to deal with what might be coming, it's probably Cardano. In Cardano, we are the kings and queens of resilience, persistence, and relentlessness. And it's going to be worth it because as to these sanctions, sometimes you just have to do the right thing, no matter how much it hurts you in the short term. As always, I'm not going to pretend to know what's going to happen with market cap and price, but I am saying that our community is the best equipped to make sure it comes out of this unscathed and unbroken. It looks like SundaeSwap is indeed following through on its promises of community governance for the protocol. You're probably aware that there is a widely held perception of regulatory advantage to community governance in DeFi across the crypto landscape. What decentralization, what definition, what threshold really qualifies as decentralization in crypto is sort of up for grabs. We hear people, regulators like Gary Gensler, they have a very different perception of what's decentralized and what's not versus some of us in the crypto space. But definitely there's a commonly held perception, at least, that community governance is a certain regulatory advantage. And it also sort of comports with the ethos of decentralization in crypto. So SundaeSwap, of course, no exception to this. They tell us implementation at launch of the DEX was unfortunately the implementation of community governance. At launch, the DEX was unfortunately not possible due to Cardano's current transaction size parameters. The governance capabilities in the SundaeSwap protocol's smart contracts require transactions larger than 16 KB. So you probably remember from our coverage of the Cardano 360 last week, they told us, hey, the average script is, 14 to 16 KB. And with SIP33 reference scripts, we're going to reduce that massively because you won't have to actually include the script in the block every time you use it. So they say, SundaeSwap is telling us here, hey, because of the current network parameters, it doesn't make sense for us to have smart contract voting. They say, we expect the parameters to be increased over time, but likely full smart contract controlled governance will only be possible until after the Babbage hard fork combinator event, upgrades, as implemented by IOG later in 2022. So you remember that's that June hard fork window. We'll have things like reference scripts, reference inputs, inline datums, and then voting via the smart contract will become possible. They say, until then, the SundaeSwap Labs development team has created a governance category called Sunday DAO in the SundaeSwap Discord to discuss governance proposals and temperature checks on potential future proposals. So it's important to get these things straight right now. So inside the SundaeSwap Discord, they've got a governance category called Sunday DAO, and that can be used for discussing governance proposals and temperature checks on potential future proposals. But they do say any critical decisions to be addressed in the near term may be subject to an informal staked community vote, similar to how the community voted in December 2021 to select the initial stake pool operators to act as scoopers. So remember the initial ISO vote that determined what pools would become scoopers and which ones would become involved in the ISO. That was determined by everyone voting on chain. And it was like the first really big on-chain vote of any kind, sort of aside from Catalyst. I'm sure somebody's going to name a bunch of projects that had on-chain voting of some kind, but this was the first really big one that I took note of, at least outside of Catalyst. So they say further, all interim admin keys to the DEX have been placed under multi-sig control with a qualified independent custodian. That's a pretty big move. They're obviously serious about community governance. In addition to the Discord category, we've created a SundaeSwap governance discourse forum board for proposal voting, governance temperature checks, and general DAO discussion. So this is how this looks. If you go to the Discord, you can see that there is a Sunday DAO category. Inside Sunday DAO, we have governance chat, proposals, and temperature check. Governance chat, exactly what you think it's going to be. Proposals, if we come to proposals, what we see here is 2 proposals already up. We have one proposal, looks like from the Cardano team, to add liquidity incentives to the SundaeSwap ADA/clap pool. And another from AADA. That proposal is add AADA/ADA liquidity mining rewards. And if you click in either one of those, you'll be taken to that proposal in the SundaeSwap governance forums. Here is the proposal on the ADA clap liquidity incentive. Information about the proposal up above here. And if you come to the bottom, this is the spot where you would actually vote if you're logged in. And if we look at the results, shocker, people are in favor of incentives. In reference to that SundaeSwap governance discourse forum we were just at, SundaeSwap tells us this approach to governance is an initial interim solution to community proposal voting for light protocol proposals. Protocols involving significant protocol parameter changes must also go through the formal SundaeSwap governance interface once it becomes available. You remember that's the one that's not available currently because there's this 16 KB kind of limit on transactions. Once that is available, we will have the actual smart contract voting. If a submission to the discourse proposal forum includes a significant protocol upgrade, it will be considered a temperature check and not a binding final vote. So please push your idea in that category so the conversation can begin. We encourage you to wait for the SundaeSwap governance interface to make proposals with significant protocol changes. I think this is great. I think one thing about SundaeSwap is you can't really accuse them of waiting when they could actually make something happen. They definitely go ahead, sort of like there was, it would have been difficult to do any other type of on-chain voting for their ISO pools. They just did it. Here, difficult to run their DAO governance through a smart contract, so they're finding other ways to do it. These guys kind of just make it happen no matter what. I know what you're actually interested in right now. You want to know how to get your SundaeSwap ISO rewards. And luckily, DripDropz has released a post to let you know how this is going to go. First of all, they let you know there were around 281,000 eligible wallets. So they are definitely expecting periods of extreme demand on chain. Apparently, this will be one of the largest drops in the history of Cardano, because Cardano has previously served around 40,000 requests. And here, obviously, we're talking about a possibility of 281,000 requests. So they first want to let you know, your Sunday drops won't expire. First and most importantly, your Sunday drop is not going to expire for up to an entire year on DripDropz. It is considered an instant reward in DripDropz, which means it stays with your wallet between epochs, just like your referral reward. So there's no need to rush right in and claim your tokens as soon as the epoch changes over. That's all in the words of DripDropz. They're also only going to drip SundaeSwap tokens for the first 4 days, March 1st to the 4th. That's how big this is going to be. They know the SundaeSwap token drop is going to be so big that it doesn't make sense to do anything else but this. So apparently they say by setting a single token for delivery, we have discovered that we can serve about 40 drippers in a single EU TXO transaction. Obviously, that's one of the great things about this Cardano EU TXO architecture. They're also letting you know, hey, it could take up to 48 hours for your tokens to arrive. Where have we heard this before? We've heard this before. When a project is expecting a gigantic amount of traffic, they have said things like, it may take days. So I think after what we saw with the SundaeSwap launch, we should probably take this seriously. I think a lot of people didn't take it seriously when SundaeSwap said, hey, it might take days. I think you should take this seriously. They say don't panic and don't open a trouble ticket until at least 72 hours has elapsed. So I think we should all expect if you try to do this on day one, on Wednesday, then I think you should expect it may actually take days. And if they say 2 days, I'm probably going to expect something more like 3 days, but we'll see. They also try to give you a couple little pro tips here. They say, try really hard to not send your ADA to them twice. And of course, above all, do not use the send all button. I think some people are definitely going to want to wait it out because I think this is going to be one of those super crazy high traffic events on the Cardano blockchain that we've seen in the past. I think a lot of other people might try to do it as quickly as possible as soon as it goes live. I have no idea which strategy will be better, but I have a feeling we're going to find out. Finally, Cardano Blockchain Insights has launched a new network energy usage dashboard. So you're probably aware that Cardano is regarded as a very green blockchain, especially for being in the top 10 by market cap. We're sort of the very, very green blockchain among the big blockchains. But Cardano Blockchain Insights has put together some pretty interesting view into these numbers right here. So first of all, you can see exactly how much more green than Bitcoin we are. That number is currently 47.2 thousand times. Cardano is that many times more energy efficient than Bitcoin. And you can sort of compare Bitcoin's energy usage to different nation states. Like Bitcoin is currently using more energy than Ukraine and Norway, slightly less than Egypt, slightly less than Poland. I've said it before, but the Bitcoin maximalists do a fantastic job of rationalizing these numbers and sort of sweeping this under the rug. And I would do the same thing. If I was a Bitcoin maximalist, I'd be making exactly the same arguments they're making. But I have to admit, back in the days before Cardano, when I was a longtime Bitcoin user and Cardano was not even a name I had previously heard, at least attached to cryptocurrencies, I was pretty horrified when I saw the first projections about Bitcoin consuming more energy than, at that time, nation states not even as big as Norway and Ukraine. So I sleep a lot better these days knowing I'm in Cardano. I hope you're starting out a great week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.